The game that puts you in command. That is the statement often used in selling war games. But what does it really mean in terms of the wargaming experience? This is where the immersive element comes into play. Many early war games focused on the larger battles and campaigns which placed you in the sandals of Caesar, or the boots of Napoleon, or Eisenhower. However, as war games became more numerous, their focus expanded to include small unit action. This meant that you took on the role of a platoon sergeant, ship captain, or pilot. The result was creating a narrative experience. In gaming terms, if not exact terms found in the dictionary, narrative games are focused on conveying the experience of the game more than winning or losing. In other words, the point of the game is to relate how a soldier, pilot, ship captain, or even the crew reacts to the individual battles in campaigns in which they participated. One example of a game creating a strong narrative is Warfighter, a cooperative game that can be played solo where you create a team of soldiers to take on different missions. The player soldiers which lead your team become the eyes in which you experience the mission. You draw the cards, choose what locations to place, and respond to the hostiles attempting to stop your forces. What follows is an example of the immersive quality of Warfighter. It is based on the play example found in the first edition of the Warfighter World War II rules. You can check out the gameplay itself by clicking on the link.
The place, France 1944. The mission, just another day. The objective, bunker clearing. The men, part of Patton's Third Army rolling through France. Despite their rapid advance, elements of the German army were waiting for the Americans. Sergeant Patrick McDougall was leading the patrol. He armed himself with a scoped rifle, a pair of Mk2 grenades, and a K-bar knife for the mission. He was joined by Private Wallace, a trained corpsman armed with an M1 and his first aid kit. This was his first patrol. Privates Smith and Taylor rounded out the team. Sergeant McDougall tells us what happened next.
We knew there was a large warehouse on the way to the bunker, so we set out to see if we could find any extra gear, maybe weapons, that could be used to help us complete the mission.
As they reached the warehouse, the Americans were greeted by several German soldiers, including an officer who was behind a grenadier and a soldier armed with a flamethrower. Some of the Germans had taken up flanking positions near the Americans.
We stayed calm as the Germans were expected in the area. This allowed us to get off the first shots.
Smith fires at the German ambushers and manages to kill one out of the three. Taylor fires, but only manages to suppress the flankers. Smith fires again and succeeds in suppressing another ambusher. Walsh takes aim at the German with the flamethrower and manages to kill him. He then turns his attention to the ambushers and succeeds in suppressing them but runs out of ammo in the process.
The Germans didn't sit still. Although no more reinforcements showed up, the flankers and ambushers did suppress Smith, and that's when I got hit.
But it was only a minor wound. However, seeing McDougall hit inspired the German officer and grenadier to move forward.
They thought I was more hurt than I really was. The grenade I tossed at the flankers changed their mind.
The flankers were all killed. McDougall managed to find an opening for Smith to shoot and kill the officer. Taylor went after the grenadier with no success, but Walsh managed to kill him. Then Walsh turned and fired on the ambushers, finishing them off as well.
After being the hero, Walsh treated my injury, and we moved forward.
With the Germans reeling, the Americans moved into the large warehouse. Amid the rubble they find a submachine gun, a pistol, and a canteen along with some ammo.
We got lucky.
Their luck would be challenged by the Germans occupying the bunker nearby. A German mortar team fires on the Americans with McDougall being targeted.
When I saw the mortar team, I went looking for cover and spotted signs of a minefield. I told the others to avoid the area.
Taylor, Walsh, and McDougall all fired on the German riflemen and succeed in killing one while forcing the others to take cover. The Germans did not take kindly to the Americans' fire. and more German riflemen arrived at the warehouse. Their first shot kills Smith and the shock causes McDougal and Taylor to take cover. The sound of an incoming mortar had Taylor running to push McDougal clear. And Taylor takes a wound for his trouble.
Seeing Smith killed really shook me, but I knew I had to act quickly. I ran toward the bunkers, pulled my knife, and killed one of the riflemen.
McDougal did more than that. After dispatching one German soldier, he hurled his last grenade at the remaining rifleman. The explosion finished him off. Walsh managed to suppress the mortar team and kill another German rifleman at the warehouse. McDougal seized the opportunity but could only dispatch one of the mortar team.
I ran out of ammo and had to reload. It's not what I wanted to do in that heated situation. It was then that I got hit again.
One of the German riflemen managed to wound McDougal, but it was not enough to keep him down. Taylor fires on what's left of the mortar team and kills one of them when Walsh steps up and finishes them off. This allows McDougal to reload his submachine gun, race to the bunker at point-blank range, and fires through an opening that finishes off the Germans and the mission.
I got lucky, but it took my men to make that luck happen.
The Americans did get lucky that day, but it was also their bravery and commitment that allowed them to complete the mission.
In addition to the individual missions, Warfighter offers campaigns that link missions together to form a more complete experience. In this manner, you follow the soldiers through the campaign as they attempt to stay alive and complete each mission. Today, Wargames not only put you in command, but they also put you in the boots of those who put their lives on the line, providing a hint of what they experienced in game form. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next Wednesday.